In part 1, I was saying that you need to remember to proofread your message, check the content, all that. But if in your Gmail you already tick for auto correction, your message will be perfect in terms of grammatical and spelling. Sorry that I have to do this recording because we have missed the first class, but the third week I hope to conduct the lecture live because it saves so much of work. The video just truncated because the maximum duration that I can go is just 15 minutes. So this is an example for good formal email that you can see. One of it is an application for graduate skill enhancement program in piping design. It starts with, "Dear sir and madam, with all my respect, I wish to apply for the above position." She introduced herself. She or he? Let me check. Well, I think in the picture it's a he. Amiru Azrai. Okay, so it's a he. So he introduced himself, he said his qualification and his experiences and what he is writing for, the intention of doing this email. Then he says that he attached a resume and also the recommendation in it, and also he provide the contact email as well as phone number if he is asked to do an interview. So you hope that somebody responds to you in this case. So you make sure that you give the correct number and a number that can be attainable, can be approachable. You know, if the first time people want to call you for an interview, but when they call, straight away they get something like nombor yang anda dial tidak dapat dihubungi. So this is already giving a slight bad impression. We say that the first 5 minutes that count. So whether you impress a person or that person might have the bad prejudice on the first sight on you, the first 5 minutes that will determine it. What's wrong? The mouse is not reacting. Okay. So this is an example of bad formal email. Permohonan jawatan kerana account. Tak ada body. There's no header or what is it? Just attachment of a resume, that's all. Or Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Saya siapa? Di sini saya sertakan resume sebagai kerani akaun di syarikat. Berbesar hati sekiranya saya dipanggil untuk temu juga. Sekian, terima kasih. What's the problem with this email? The first problem that I can see is the emoticon. The second problem that I can see is sentences that didn't start in a proper way. Straight away berbesar hati. You cakap dengan kakak you ke, dengan abang you ke, you go like very informal way. That's not correct, especially when you are asking for a job. You have to do it formally. So, how to write a personal or informal email? Still is an informal email, but you still need to maintain your politeness, the greetings, the closings, and the casualness in it. So first, how do you maintain your politeness? You don't need to use formal language, but you do want to appear polite and friendly. Because of that, you do not want to make any requests, and if you make any requests, you be sure to make them polite. And then always use greetings. It's common to use the word dear who. And then you have to say goodbye at the end, or use something like thank you, see you soon, I hope to see your reply soon, or even a brief sentence that I'm really looking forward to meeting you in person. Be sure to write or type your name, even if it has to be included with your signature. So again, you can always do your signature on a paper, and then you just put it in front of your computer and let the webcam trace your signature, and then you can have a digital signature. So whenever you write an email, it includes your digital signature. You can always do that. And then the casualness in writing informal email must be there. With these types of email, you can probably include some jokes, but joke still you have to joke properly, and you can put some informal comments like what you think about certain things, like that can link or make both the recipient and the sender to be closer. For example, both of you likes I do not know, Katy Perry. So you ask, oh, how was the Katy Perry concert last week? Because you knew that she went to the concert. So you just want to sort of, we say, open doors is a good topic to start with. However, still need to be careful about the tone of your email, especially if you do not know the recipient well. Sometimes when you're proposing something, but when you are using the wrong tone in your email, the way you're writing it might sound as though like you're ordering and instead of you're proposing. So be careful with that. Tips on how to write an email in general. So be sure an email is necessary. You do it only when it's necessary. Use separate business and personal email address. Business email address over here refer to those that with the proper affiliation behind, like at ukm.edu.my. So people will know that you're coming from a university, UKM. EDU are all for academics, for education center that's registered in Malaysia, and then .my is in Malaysia. So be clear, be brief and polite. Don't write emails when you're angry. Then your email tone might sound like you're angry. So use short sentences, avoid forwarding emails and replying to all. Use a spell checker, watch out for signatures, have a native speaker proofread your email if possible. Seriously, a good writer might really express oneself in the email, including your feelings, your emotion, and your tone right now. So if you're not in a good terms, don't do the email. Do it when you have very good emotion with you. Read your email personally before sending it. This is to cross-check, to double-check. And then you also double-check that the email address for all recipients are correct. Don't miss out someone. And then again, ralat, second email. Try to make it 0 defects. Use the line subject. Start with an appropriate greeting. Pay attention to punctuation. Oh, this is very, very important. Some people, they just don't like to put full stop. And some people, or in certain culture, they like to have very, very lengthy, over lengthy sentences that is being halfway broken by just a comma. So that is not a good practice. Like you say, oh, she has to go to school today, comma. But I'm not sure if she likes to go there, comma. You know, it's because of the friends, but the friend seems to be liking her, comma, comma, and comma, you know. Why don't you have a perfect sentence that is separated by full stop? And remember that full stop is very, very important due to it shows that you're a person that will complete the work and not doing it halfway and say bye-bye. This is how people judge. If you dive or if you have interest into signatures, even a signatures can determine what kind of person are you. And also the weight, you're pressing your pen down hard or light, that will determine also your attitude and your personality, but of course not in writing digital email. But punctuation, one of it will tell you whether the person is going to be punctual on time. This person is going to be having very high self-discipline. This person, when it's given a task, it will definitely complete. So you put a full stop, means there's an ending to everything. Consider where to put the small talk. Small talk again is more of like informal. You just want to open a door, an introduction to people. I believe very much in the hamburger style. So if you are going to criticize someone, you always say something nice first, and then you go to the main topic of today, that is to give not appraisal, but to give bad comments on something for improvement. So you put it in the main ingredient, which is the hamburger. The breads are not so important. They are not the main character in hamburgers, right? So the beef, the patty, the lettuce, tomato in the middle, that is the main ingredients. Okay, so the criticism will go in the middle, and then you try to end with another piece of bread at the bottom, which is, say, the criticism or the bad comment is actually for your long life learning and also for your future improvement. So if it's compulsory to follow, then you say it's an order. If it's not compulsory to follow, then you say this is just my 2 cents. So this is what we mean by doing all the small talk. You have to slightly let people breathe, not to suffocate people in your email when it comes to negative response. So start with the end in mind, put spaces between paragraphs, and use an appropriate closing, like I mentioned earlier. So besides using internet and technology for work purposes like email, ring, people also use them for social activities. List your social activities, list your social media accounts like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. Okay, LinkedIn is now being very formal, because when people want to check your CV and your working experiences, all that, it is registered one with LinkedIn. And then Facebook, for example, you want to organize a friendly match, a badminton friendly match, or you want to promote something, awareness of taking care of our environment. So the dissemination of the news or an awareness might be faster than you do it in a formal way. So that is the purpose of social media. Twitter and Instagram is much more famous in the US. So if you have all these 4, then I believe in the future you can even be a social media influencer, which actually yield very high income. If you are someone who can promote and market something, and you can talk non-stop for hours and hours. So now ask yourself, how many times a day do you post online? If you don't post more than 10 posts per day, which means you are inactive in your FB or in your social media. Again, some people, they might concentrate on a certain topic. So some people always post things that they eat, things that they cook, all the good food in the world. Some people likes to make it formal, that their FB, they only post their achievement in Facebook. Their doubt about something that they want other parents or other Facebook viewer to be aware of. So like, for example, we have this parenting network group. So recently, Standard 1, they have gone back to the physical school. But before that, a lot of parents thought that this whole year in 2021, it will be fully on online classes. Therefore, they have invested in buying a second-hand desktop or buy a new iPad for their kids for this purpose. However, now that they are going back to school physically, the parents need to invest again on school uniform, on school shoes, and so on. So they posted in that networking group asking government should actually give them a feedback on is this physical class going to be long term, or they have to invest on another category C kind of thing for the students' education. So Facebook actually speaks louder nowadays than you post it by writing a formal email to the Kementerian